Los Angeles will spend more than $30 million a year for the next 3 decades on repairing busted sidewalks. The big question now is, what's going to happen to some of the trees that are causing the damage in the first place? The conductor of the derailed Metrolink commuter train behind me is the most critically injured out of the 6 people taken to the hospital. The National Transportation Safety Board is still investigating the accident, and they're trying to determine where safety may be improved on commuter trains. In order to meet the high number of applications that are expected for the extended program, the USCIS has been hiring and training additional personnel. The victory against Ecuador not only served as a confidence booster for the Mexican national team, it also allowed head coach Miguel Herrera to give some playing time to some players who haven't had enough minutes in their clubs, like Javier Chicharito Hernandez, who managed to score the only goal of the match. For years, Metrolink has been spending millions of dollars on safety for its commuter trains. The investments the company did on the technology of its trains helped improve the safety of the rail cars, which reduced the impact of the train crash that occurred in Oxnard last month.
All of our cab cars and 2/3 of our passenger cars are equipped with what's known as crash energy management technology. Basically, they're equipped with a series of safety features to help absorb the impact of a crash. We could safely say that the technology worked. It definitely minimized the impact.
The front end of the cab car that collided with a truck had a crumple bumper, which had allowed it to crumple up during the crash and absorb the energy of the collision. Although this incident didn't have as many people hurt or dead like past crashes, not everyone is convinced about the safety of these Metrolink trains.
They ran that end of the train into the Ford truck. The crash was so severe that it seriously, critically injured the locomotive engineer, and he passed away this week. So if they're safer, it didn't do Mr. Steele any good.
This attorney has represented injured riders in 2 of 3 previous derailments involving Metrolink trains in push configuration. He argues that it's better to have the engine pulling the train instead of pushing it. That way, the extra weight of the locomotive in front can keep the wheels attached to the rails and prevent derailments. The National Transportation Safety Board is still investigating the accident, and they're trying to determine where safety may be improved on commuter trains. In Los Angeles, Jose Saenz, Valley View News. As nearly 5 million undocumented immigrants in the U.S. get ready to file for President Obama's expanded Deferred Action Program, Washington's top ambassador for the idea is gathering support in California. The U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security and Mayor Garcetti spoke to community members about the federal DACA and DAPA programs, which will allow millions of people like Alejandra Velazquez to come out of the shadows and be able to stay and work in the U.S. without fear of deportation.
It's time for me. I have been living in this country for 18 years, so it has been very difficult life with 2 children.
Just in Los Angeles, both programs will benefit more than 500,000 people.
This isn't about numbers. This is about flesh and blood. This is about our brothers and sisters, our neighbors.
Although both programs will guarantee millions of working undocumented immigrants to stay in the country, it will not do the same to those who have committed a serious crime.
What we're seeing, and what I want to continue to emphasize, is an increasing percentage of interior removals of criminals. The higher percentage of those removed from the interior who've been convicted of crimes.
People eligible for DACA can start applying on February 18, and those who qualify for DAPA will have to wait until May. Johnson also mentioned that in order to meet the high number of applications that are expected for the extended program, the USCIS has been hiring and training additional personnel, and they've been ramping up resources. In Los Angeles, Jose Saenz, Valley View News. 13-year-old aspiring singer Kimberly Garcia has experienced the nightmare of being separated from family members because of their legal status. But unlike many teenagers around her age, she's gotten involved with other pro-immigration activists to try and put an end to the deportation of immigrants with American-born children.
It hurts because I know that it's very painful to have your family separated because they weren't born here. And I would really like to make a change in that and have people in the future to not go through the same thing that I went through.
Garcia and thousands of people took over the streets of Los Angeles to show their dissatisfaction with the temporary suspension of the DACA and DAPA programs, but most importantly, to pressure the government to get these programs going soon.
When we knew that the DACA and DAPA were stopped by this Texan judge, we were really sad. But we don't have to be sad. We have to take action.
We are not here to take any jobs away. We're here to basically provide for the economy or help the economy, build the economy.
The people who took part in this march hope that their chants can be heard across the nation, but most importantly, in Texas. This march is the first out of the many that will be going on nationwide in the next couple of weeks, with the purpose of reversing the injunction imposed by a federal judge on President Obama's executive action. The next one in LA is scheduled March 28th. In Los Angeles, Jose Saenz, Valley View News.